Hello, welcome to Axiom Flux News. Today's date's the 22nd of January 2015, and this evening I'm joined with Andy. I'm going to be bringing some articles as usual. So I'm going to start tonight with our first article. This is, well, it happened yesterday, Wednesday, in Chicago, and it's a man is dead, 8 others wounded in city shootings. Below the image here, says a woman cries inside a store in front of a shooting scene while Chicago police investigate at 51st. Hold on a minute. Just 1 second there. Sorry. Chicago police investigate at 51st Street and Racine Avenue. Because I'm British, I'm not familiar with the names of the road. But anyway, moving on. A man died and at least 8 other people were wounded in separate shootings since Wednesday afternoon. 1 man was killed and another wounded a couple of blocks from a homicide less than 24 hours earlier. About 6:40 p.m. a man was shot in the torso and another man was shot in the leg in the 5100 block of South Racine Avenue. According to police said gunmen stepped out of a vehicle, opened fire and then fled. The man shot in the leg was found in the 5000 block of South Elizabeth Street. He was taken to St Bernard Hospital and Healthcare Centre and was stable. The other man, 40, was taken to John H. Strogodd Jr. Hospital in critical condition with multiple chest wounds. He was later pronounced dead. 31-year-old man was shot during a robbery in the Washington Park neighborhood in the 5100 block of South Calumet Avenue. About 8:35 p.m. the man was in the area when 2 male offenders robbed him and fired shots, said Chicago police spokesman Officer Hector Alfaro. He was shot in the head and taken to John H. Strogodd Jr. Hospital of Cook County in critical condition. Additional information about that shooting wasn't immediately available. On the west side, 2 people were shot about 7:15 p.m. in the 3300 block of West Warren Boulevard. Police said a 30-year-old man was shot in the hip and back and was stable at Strogodd Hospital. The other victim, 37, was shot in the hand and taken to Mount Sinai Hospital in good condition. Earlier on the south side, a boy was shot at around 6:15 p.m. in the 4400 block of South Drexel Avenue. He was taken to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. His condition has been stabilized. Police said he was shot inside an apartment building. In the West Garfield Park neighborhood, someone opened fire near a gas station Wednesday afternoon, wounding an employee and a person who had been standing near a car. It doesn't appear that the 2 people shot were the intended targets, police said. The shooting happened around 3 p.m. in the 3900 block of West Washington Boulevard. One of the men was taken to hospital in serious condition. He had a wound to his arm and chest. The second man, 46, was shot in the leg and was taken to Mount Sinai. His condition had stabilized. Detectives arrived around 4 p.m. and police closed off the gas station with red tape while some of the employees remained inside. Around 20 minutes past 1 a.m. Thursday, a 21-year-old man was injured in a gang-related shooting in East Side neighborhood on the far side, south side. He was standing near his car in the 10,600 block of South Green Bay Avenue when a grey sedan drove past him and someone inside shouted gang slogans and then fired shots, police have said. The man was hit in the right foot and was taken to Advocate Trinity Hospital in good condition. Police officers at the scene searched for evidence, took pictures of a grey Buick and examined a shell casing in the middle of the road. So that's quite a fair amount of shootings over in Chicago yesterday. Be interesting to keep an eye on this one. The next article. Tassanev attorneys renew bid to move Boston Marathon bombing trial. Lawyers say 68% of the potential jurors already believe that Tassanev is guilty. String him up, says one. So the ongoing trial. And the lawyers for accused Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tassanev made their third push to move the trial out of Massachusetts Thursday, citing data from court questionnaires that shows 68% of the 1,337 Boston area residents called as prospective jurors in the case already believe their client is guilty. In a court filing Thursday, attorneys said roughly the same amount of potential jurors, 69%, have a self-identified connection to the April 2013 bombings, meaning they were personally affected or knew someone who was. Stronger support for a finding or presumed prejudice in Boston is difficult to imagine. Timothy Watkins, one of Tassanev's attorneys, wrote in the filing, "The existing record precludes a fair trial in Boston." Based on analysis of juror questionnaires, the defense noted that just 345 prospective jurors, or 25% of those summoned in the case, said they were unsure when asked if they had formed an opinion that Tassanev is guilty, while 66 potential jurors said no. So this is quite a lengthy article, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is because I've got another article which for some reason I've just noticed my links disappeared, but I can soon find that. But basically, before I find that, this is the supposed Boston bomber, or an image of, drawing of, artist impression. And if I can just find my other article.
PJ, you're not sharing your screen, mate. It's not showing.
It's not sharing, is it not?
No, there's nothing on the screen.
Oh, from the very beginning?
I can't remember.
Is it shared now?
No, I can't see anything.
It's probably giving me problems.
Now it is. Now it's up.
Is it up now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well...
Obama won't meet with Netanyahu, yeah?
That's my next article. I'm jumping. I don't know if any of these articles have been displayed.
The second article didn't show, that was all.
Okay, this is the second article. I'm going back onto this. But before I wanted to do that, I just wanted to link to this one. Not that these are connected in any way. This is James Holmes. If you remember, the movie Massacre trial of James Holmes begins with 9,000 potential jurors. So this guy's being given 9,000 potential jurors to, be picked from, as the Boston bomber only gets 1,300. And there's some concerns with, I've got to No, these automatic videos when they start playing, they don't have cause confusion. So anyway, let me just try and round these articles up again before I lose track. So yeah, basically this guy's been given 1,337 potential jurors to choose from, with 68% already believe that he's guilty, and this one, which is James Holmes, is given 9,000. Don't know if you've got any thoughts on this, Andy.
Well, this particular thing, or the article before?
On both of these articles, really. The Boston bomber one and the movie Massacre.
Well, these two. Well,
Just basically around what I'm trying to get at is the amount of potential jurors. I'm not really asking you to go into any more information.
well,
Pretty much, he's probably advised not to with the trials ongoing anyway, but...
Well, they can't use 9,000 jurors, can they?
No, it's just a potential amount that they've got.
Well, there might as well be 100 million potential jurors. They're only going to get the 12, aren't they?
Mm.
I think it's just a load of old propaganda. It doesn't really matter, does it? Because I mean, at the end of the day, they'll have jurors and there'll be jurors. Whether they're jurors from the 9,000 or I don't know. I think well, we already know the story about the Boston bombing, don't we? I mean, most people are aware of what happened and what supposedly has happened and what has come out about you know, on the same day that it happened, like a lot of these that they were doing.
Well, the trial basically on this guy is the Boston bomber. Is they're trying to, you know, figure out whether he were actually don't know how to put it really, but if his mental condition was stable at the time, meaning did he, you know, have a prior motive to what he did. You know what I mean? So that's basically, it's not really his full trial as such. This is just to try and figure out whether he's mentally stable or not, or was at the time of when when this event took place. Same as James Holmes, he's the same. So it's still quite a lengthy trial to go. You know, it's not nowhere near started. I would say.
Well,
he's facing the death penalty if he's declared.
well, he will. He'll be sentenced to death
only if they don't class him as insane at the time of when he did it.
Well, if he turned around and said it was a put-up job and they and I had nothing to do with it, they won't class him insane anyway. They'll just say, oh, well, it's whatever. I don't know what to sort of say about the actual that side of things. It's quite a while ago now, the Boston bombing. How long ago is it now?
2013 April.
Yeah, well, two or 3 months. That's 2 years, isn't it? I mean,
yeah. And the one involving James Holmes, that was July 2012.
right.
Anyway, I just thought I'd point this out with the trials ongoing currently.
I don't know what to
maybe some of the viewers might find this interesting that I've highlighted this.
Yeah. I think after the trials, then you couldn't sort of make your opinion, really, after the outcome of the trials, and then you can say this, that.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about the trial. I'm just talking about the potential jurors. You know. This is the only thing I'm trying to address. Nothing more than that, really.
Well, isn't every American a potential juror?
Yeah, but they are entitled to a fair trial. Would this be, debatable? If you've got difference in jurors to pick from, and majority in one guy seems to be that he's already going to be declared guilty. But
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you've got a trial going on, right, and it's in Crown Court or whatever with a court de jure, then everybody in your country is a potential juror if you're on the jury list.
yeah, if you're on jury list, if you've got a record, then I don't believe they bother asking for you. But
But I mean, let's be honest, 300 million Americans. Well, I don't know what the above the age of consent, 18 or whatever it is in America, but you could pretty much say half the population is a potential juror, aren't they? So I kind of find that the article's a bit misleading for that. That's the only thing I can look into it when they say moving massacre trial of James Holmes begins with 9,000 potential jurors. Well, surely there must be at least 100 million potential jurors in America, because they've all got to, if you if you signed up to the Constitution and you're an American citizen, then you've all got to, you'll all get called up to do a stint on jury service, a bit much like in the UK. So I don't understand the numbers. You get where I'm coming from?
yeah, completely. That's what I'm saying, Andy. Same thing.
So it's just silly nonsense.
Well, anyway, moving on to the one that you spotted. Obama won't meet Netanyahu during a controversial US visit. White House says it's too close to Israel's elections. So President Barack Obama will not meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu during the latter's controversial March 3rd visit to Washington. The White House announced Thursday, saying a meeting could be perceived as an attempt by the administration to influence Israel's March 17 elections. The President will not be meeting the Prime Minister because of the proximity to the Israeli election, which is just 2 weeks after his planned address to the US Congress. National Security Council spokeswoman Bernadette Meehan said in an emailed statement, "As a matter of long-standing practice and principle, we do not see heads of state or candidates in close proximity to their elections, so as to avoid the appearance of influencing a democratic election in a foreign country," she said. Netanyahu's visit has further strained already difficult relations between the Israeli leader and Obama. Republican House Speaker John Boehner invited Netanyahu to address a joint meeting of Congress for the express purpose of challenging the president's approach to Islamist extremism and negotiations with Iran over that country's nuclear program. The White House, which found out about the visit from Boehner's office, accused Israel of breaching diplomatic protocol under which foreign leaders advise host leaders of pending visits. The President has been clear about his opposition to Congress passing new legislation on Iran that could undermine our negotiations and divide the international community. Said Meehan, the President has had many conversations with the Prime Minister on this matter, and I am sure they will continue to be in contact on this and other important matters. Okay, so the President has been clear about his opposition to Congress passing new legislation on Iran that could undermine our negotiations and divide the international community. It's an interesting sentence, don't you think, Andy?
Well,
says a lot to me, personally.
the president has been clear about his what does that say there? Again?
Opposition.
Yeah, to Congress. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Passing new legislation on.
Iran.
Well, has he done? Is this one of his many executive orders he's passed? Is it?
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Yeah, well, he can do that.
He can
Is
do
the
pretty much
president.
whatever he wants, can't he?
Yeah, he's the president of presidents of executive orders. This guy, he just doesn't take any notice of the Congress. He don't care anyway. He's just going to pass what he wants. Writes on a bit of paper, rubber stamps it. There you go. I don't honestly understand why America bothers with having a Congress when you've got a president that can just walk all over it anyway. I mean, what is a presidency meant to be about, you know? And the other thing is about this article, when it says, oh, he doesn't want to meet with Netanyahu because it's too close to the Israeli elections, and he doesn't want to, you know, show favour or whatever it is. Well, if that's the case, I do think last week, was it, he met with a certain David Cameron who's facing his own elections in about 12 weeks' time. So that's rubbish, isn't it? Total rubbish, isn't it?
I'm glad you mentioned it, Andy, because I was waiting for it.
Well, yeah, I thought perhaps you might mention it because
I do want to influence you in your comments, so I thought I'll wait. And you did, you mentioned it, so that's good. Need we say any more? Moving on. This is a video that I'm going to attempt to put through before I pass it over to you, Andy, to do your articles. So if you want to put yourself on mute.
Okay.
Okay, this is a fatal police shooting caught on dash cam. So I'm going to give it my best attempts to try and play it for you. Video contains graphic content.
Shocking new video of a deadly confrontation that happened in New Jersey back in December.
That's right. 2 officers shoot and kill a man during a traffic stop, and the whole thing was caught on camera. Now we have to warn you, the video you're about to see is graphic.
We're right on South Pine Street. Hey, you got a driver's license?
Yeah, I got my driver's license.
What's up, man? Can you go and grab for me?
Stop sign. We stopped.
No. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Don't move. Don't you move. Don't you move. Get him out the car, Raj. We got a gun in this glove compartment. Don't you move. Don't you move. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Don't you move. Don't you move. I'm telling you, I'm going to shoot you. You're going to be dead. I'm telling you. You reach for something, you're going to be dead. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Keep your hands right there. Hey, Jerome, you reach for something, you're going to be dead. He's reaching. Show me your hands. No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't move. Don't you move.
We're joined now by 48 Hours crime center reporter Michelle Segona. Michelle, what led up to this confrontation?
There was a traffic stop, from what we've learned. This video was released simply because of an open public records request. The police department did not want to release it out of respect for the man who was shot and killed. But they made it very clear that they were going to release it in its entirety, so you could hear the voices and hear what's happening. After the traffic stop happens, you can see one of the officers going to the passenger side of the car, approaching both of the men inside of the car. Now the driver has both of his hands out of the window, and what it appears is that the passenger didn't have anything in his hands, but there may have been a gun inside of the glove box. And when he goes to get out of the car when he's not supposed to, that's possibly when that officer felt threatened, and maybe he had a weapon on him. We just don't know at this point. The investigation is continuing.
Michelle, can we talk a little bit about the history, particularly the criminal history of the man that was killed?
Absolutely. Well, in this particular video, the officer calls him Jerome, but in many media reports, he's identified as Jermaine Reed. This is, again, from many reports out there as of right now, and he was convicted and served time for shooting at New Jersey State Police when he was a teenager, and served a lot of time in prison, and then was arrested last summer for a number of charges. Now, one of those officers was involved in that arrest last summer. So he knew this suspect. He has had, contact with him in the past, knew of his history, and, may have felt threatened. Again, we don't know yet because that part of the investigation is still coming out, but now we do have videotape to go with every single movement that happened from the moment that that car was spotted, allegedly running through a stop sign, all the way up until the shooting happened.
And Michelle, just again, break it down for us. Why exactly did the police feel it was necessary to release this video?
They didn't, and they were complying again with an open public records request from a local media entity, and they they wanted to comply with that request, and that's why they did what they did. They were against it. They made it very clear on their Facebook pages it's not something that they wanted to do. Again, out of respect for Mr. Reed, who was shot, but again, they were just doing what they had been requested of at this point.
All right, Michelle Segonia, thank you so much for that insight. It certainly is really, really hard to watch.
Yeah, very disturbing indeed. We're going to take you now to, okay, I'm being told that we're not going to take you now, we're going to tease you. For updates on...
That's the end of that article anyway. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's another shooting. Well, actually, on your first article, I think it was about the 8 shootings in Chicago, was it not?
No, a man's dead, 8 others wounded. Several shootings over the past few days over in Chicago, different parts.
Well, yeah, but it's Chicago, isn't it? It's all in Chicago. Yeah. Well, it's ironic, isn't it? It's got a complete gun ban there. There's no guns allowed. You're not allowed to open carry. You're not allowed to have guns in Chicago. There's a gun ban, and yet it's the most. It's got the highest rate for fatalities in shooting in the whole of the United States. Yet it has a total gun ban. So, I mean, what can you say about that? Only that banning guns, does it stop it in America? Obviously not. Obviously not. So. That's just a point to make about that. As with the shooting you just saw there, there's another black fella, isn't it? Another. So I mean, that's going to kick up, I should imagine, a load more. I don't, looking at the video, it looks to me like which one did they shoot? The guy with his hands out on the left?
No, the one on the right. There's 2 in the car.
Right, so the guy on the police officer on the right hand side of the screen shot the guy on that side, yeah?
Side, yeah.
Well, he says there's a gun in
the guy and the police officer on the other side of the vehicle also appears, to have shot him in the back.
Well, he says there's I mean, I don't know how, because I think when they approached it was from on the left-hand side. Before the other officer went round the other side, he informed them that there was a gun in the glove compartment. Now, the glove compartment must have been on the other side, the passenger side, because that's where the guy gets shot. So how the hell can he see whether there's a gun in a glove compartment on the left-hand side, on the driver's side? I don't know. I just find it a bit, unless it was a great big submachine gun, sticking halfway out the dash or something like that. I don't know. We can never say, but I mean, it looks a bit of a dodgy shooting yet again, and it's they're saying it was a freedom of request act that got them to show the video, and they didn't want to show it, the police department. So
they felt like they should consent.
Eh?
But the police felt like they should consent.
Well, they had no choice, did they?
Well, they didn't have to. They weren't happy to.
No, but at the end of the day, if they'd have covered it up, then it would have been even a bigger stink, wouldn't it? But then, I really haven't. I mean, I've got an open mind on all these shootings, and I'm thinking, well, they're happening all the time. Maybe it's something that happens in America all the time, and it's just being more publicised because of the heat in the situation with what's going on. With the New York, the Ferguson, all this shooting and the protesting and all this business. But as you can see, there's shootings every day in Chicago. every single day. And
Well, there has been for the past few days.
well, there has been for the past few years since, you know, I'm not saying since the gun ban, but all I'm saying is it clearly, in that situation, the gun ban doesn't seem to be doing much cop when it's the most violent gun crime city in the United States, and more people are shot dead there than in the other city, according to what I've read. But there you go. Perhaps it's a load of lies what I've read. I don't know. You can only read. But apparently that is official figures. So maybe the official figures are lying. I don't know. But there we go. But interesting articles, PJ, as usual. And I'll nick the screen off you, shall I?
Yeah, over to you.
Okay, what we got here? If I can get it. Okay, have we got that?
Yep.
Okay, this is just Yahoo business, really, so it's mainstream. I could have gone to an alternative news for this and talked a bit more in depth about it, but I'm just carrying on with this financial situation like I have been doing for the past few days, because I think we need to keep on top of it because things are really happening. Anyway, the euro is tanking and stocks are ripping higher. Okay, Google Finance, the euro is tanking after the European Central Bank announced a quantitative easing program, and now US stocks are ripping higher. On Thursday, the ECB said it would buy 60 billion euros of bonds each month through at least the end of at least the end of 2016. And this news sent the euro sharply lower, falling to an 11-year low below 1.14 against the US dollar. 11-year low. US stocks were higher following the news, and near 3 p.m. ET have ripped higher to highs of the day, with the Dow up 270 points and the S&P 500 up 39 points and the Nasdaq up 73 points. Excuse me. All of the major stock averages are up better than 1.4%, and with Thursday's gains, the S&P 500 has turned positive for the year. Yippity-doo. Stocks in Europe were also higher, with the CAC in Paris up 1.3%, the FTSE in London up 0.8%, and the DAX in Germany up 0.9%. Stocks in Italy and Spain were up more than 1.5% following the ECB's announcement. The ECB's program is not as straightforward as the QE undertaken in the US, really, and contains some conditions on how much debt from each Eurozone member the ECB can buy, with the ECB not buying more than 25% of new debt issued by any country, and not more than 33% of the country's outstanding debt. There you go. And look at these figures here. Look at the euro. Bang, right down there. Massive. Massive changes on the stock market. But, you know, it's not much of an article for the mainstream, is it really? But that's a massive thing. And you got Japan that have been queuing for God knows how much now, and it's been in a state for I can't know how many years now. Japan is, and the American Fed have been doing the same thing, and now you've got the ECB and the Europeans doing the same thing. It's all printing money out of thin air. That's right, out of nowhere. And it's just going to tank the currencies even more, devalue them to a point where, you know, any slight move upwards in interest rates is going to cause a catastrophe. And they'll do it when the time is right. When the time is right, 2 or 3%, maybe even less. I think it'd probably be even less than that on any of this, raising interest rates, and it is game over. The market will tumble overnight. Total free fall. I ain't gonna stop this time. Just carry on straight through the floor.
Speaking of money, Andy,
Yeah.
I think I owe, how much is it I owe? Is it 20 quid? Right, let's go and get it, yeah. Hold on. Here you go. Here you go, Andy.
Is that promise to pay?
It is, yeah. That's what we do these days.
Right. You see, well, I'm old and ugly enough to remember where you actually saved money. But there you go. You don't need to today because it's just made out of thin air. It's just bits of paper. Well, all I can say to everybody is, don't worry about paying your debts off. Just don't pay any bills. Don't pay any rent. Just say, well, look, listen, I'll get it to you sometime. And you're gonna. Well, ask them to print up a little bit more. Do you want some tax? I don't see. There's no point, is there? What do we need tax for?
That's the new currency.
Yeah, well, it's of course, all these stocks are lovely for the stockholders, the top boys. Stocks are up, yeah, good. That's good for George Soros and all the rest of them, innit? They can have a good old time, can't they? Jolly good. Currency wars, trade wars, world wars. I didn't say no more. Onward and upward. Yeah, what a joke. Anyway, moving on. Here's a bit about Facebook. I haven't been on there. I've cancelled my accounts. And nowhere am I going back. That's for sure.
You still can't get away from it though. Look, you managed to find this article.
I know. Well, it's just to re-endorse the reasons why I left. And many people for that matter. Facebook will remove unverified fake news from news feeds. And there's a little box you report it's fake news.
That's interesting, Andy, because I covered this on my own overnight when I were on Flux News.
Oh, was it? Oh,
but I only did it briefly, so I'm interested to read a bit of this.
Well, it's probably what you covered, basically. You already know it. Facebook has announced its plans to allow users to flag stories in their news feeds that they deem to be a hoax or misleading. Ooh, it's a conspiracy theory. I think we're banning it. An option is soon to appear under the light grey arrow seen on every post, which will say false news story. As more people click on this option, Facebook algorithm, is that a man? Anyway, will then flag it a hoax and subsequently hide it from users' news feeds. Reports. If a story is bombarded with a large number of flags, a message will pop up declaring that many people on Facebook have reported that this story contains false information. CNN Money explains. CNN. So, Cartoon News Network, isn't it? So the offending story doesn't disappear, but it is conveniently tucked under the rug for fewer people to see. All right. Why is Facebook doing this? The move comes on the heels of a survey it published last year studying how fast those memes and viral hoaxes travel through Facebook. Now it's taking what it learned and using algorithms to scrub out the nonsense. Nonsense. TechCrunch says that each time those hoaxes gain traction, say that false Facebook copyright notice, it reflects poorly on Facebook. Oh, diddums. The tech blog writes, people hold Facebook responsibility for what's in the newsfeed. They blame the authors, but their frustration leads them to visit Facebook less. Therefore, it's a problem for business. Business. There you go. Zuckerberg. Dumb F-wits, I think he called people that open a Facebook account. Am I right? Was it dumb F-wits, PJ?
It sounds familiar. I'm not 100% sure though, Andy.
Yeah, apparently. That's what he said. Apparently. But anyway, he's saying it here. Business. Business. There you go. That's what it's about for him. 15th, isn't he, in the list you said yesterday?
Yeah. 15th.
Yeah, well, Facebook, Faceake, State Book, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a P-Take book, really. But unfortunately, it's millions of users don't realise they're having the P taken out of them. But there you go. It's cheap, isn't it, for you? There. Anyway, I'm glad I'm off of it, PJ.
Yeah, likewise.
And it can go and do what it likes, whatever it wants. And
it's a digital detox in itself.
Oh bloody hell! Yeah, I feel so much better already.
Same here.
Yeah. Anyway, that's about it for me tonight. I know it's not too much interesting, but cancer-causing agent found in U.S. drinking water. There's some breaking ones here. Bird crisis, mystery goop discovered. That's probably to do with it all. Oh yeah. Right, over to you, PJ, to wrap it up.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for that, Andy. Interesting stuff as usual. That's all we've got for you today, so do join us again tomorrow for some more continual Flux news. But until then, take care, look after yourselves. Gonna get myself off to work now, Andy, so I'll catch up with you in a bit, alright?